In this video, we're going to go over targeting our ideal client. It's important to understand that when we're reaching out to businesses, that we understand how they communicate so that we can come across like we know their language, right? And so it's very important for us to understand the different buzzwords and the language and the terms that they use. And so let's go right ahead and jump into targeting our ideal client. So the type of businesses that we're looking to target and we're looking to work with are those that provide a great service and can easily sell their service. So a lot of these businesses that we're targeting tend to have 3, 4, up to 10, maybe even 20 employees, and they're great at what they do. They provide a great service, a great product, and they can easily sell that service and product. This is why local businesses are a great business to target, because the majority of them are relying solely on referrals and word of mouth. They're not really doing any type of marketing themselves. They may be doing like direct mail, they may be doing radio, things that are not digital, right? And so that's where we're coming in as the expert digital marketing consultant and helping them generate more leads through paid advertising. So understanding some of the different buzzwords. For example, in the construction niche, typically these individuals, these business owners, are going to use terms as jobs, projects, right? Or maybe bids. And so when we're communicating with them through our emails, through our DMs, or any kind of messaging that we put in front of them about our particular services, we want to communicate in those terms. We don't want to talk about customers. We don't want to talk about clients. We want to talk about very specifically the types of projects or the buzzwords that they use. And with most service businesses, they're typically going to use the term clients. This is not the case every time, and I would really stay away from using clients unless you know for sure, for a fact, right, that they use that term. Anybody in the legal space are typically going to be using the term cases. When you talk about getting them more business, we're talking in terms of more cases, not more customers, not more clients, right? It's about cases. And that's why, like I've mentioned throughout this video, is that most people that reach out to businesses always are talking in terms of customers, clients. We're not going to be like that. That's why we're Elite Digital Marketing Agency consultants, and we communicate with our prospects, right, with potential clients the right way, because we understand the right type of buzzwords to use so that they can understand that we are experts in our field and we can help their business grow. And you'll notice that most businesses, just in general, are never really going to use the term customers because it's very generic and it's not specific to them, right? What I want you to understand is that, let's say a home remodeling company, right? Home remodeling company works with somebody to remodel their kitchen, right? Now they are a customer. And so that's how that business will then see that individual project. They'll see that now as a customer because they've paid, they've done the work. However, when we're communicating with them to do outreach and to message them to get more types of customers, right? We don't want to use the word customers because this is something that they will often use after the fact, right? When we're communicating with them and we're asking them if they can take on more XYZ jobs or take on more cases, right? That's where we want to be very specific. And this is not the case every time. However, that's why it's important for us to always, and every time we're communicating, we're outreaching to businesses, that we use their specific buzzwords, their terms, so that we don't come across just like every other marketer, right? A dentist, a healthcare provider is going to use the term patients. A gym is not going to talk about customers, clients, right? They're going to talk about getting new members. And so not only do we want to understand that niche's buzzwords, we also want to understand what a new patient, what a new project, what a new case is worth to them, okay? And so this is where we're understanding customer lifetime value. Now, this is critically important here for when you're doing your niche research, because we need to understand what a new customer is worth to them, and then what is the value of that customer worth to them over the lifetime that they are a customer. And so LTV, lifetime value, this is the average revenue that a customer will generate throughout the lifespan as a customer. And here's an example. A dentist has patients coming in on average 2 times a year for cleaning, whitening, any type of exams, right? And so with each visit, they spend $500 each time. So the yearly value of a patient is $1,000 a year, right? $500 times 2. That is the value of a patient for 1 year. Now, let's look at the industry average for dental patients. And so it's as simple as being able to have $1,000, right? Which is that 1 year value of a patient times the length of a typical relationship. So $1,000 times 10 years, which is how long that patient typically stays with that dentist. And so a lifetime value for a patient for a dentist is $10,000, right? Now, this is just an average. This is just with the 2 different visits a year. This is not counting any type of other procedures that they're going to need. Maybe they need an implant. Maybe they need some other type of surgery, right? Whatever that may be. However, we know that on average, the lifetime value of a patient for a dentist is $10,000 over 10 years. And so let's say that each new patient refers 5 new patients over those 10 years. So that's $1,000, right? Value per patient. And then 5 referrals, that's $5,000 times 10. So that's an extra $50,000 for those 5 new referrals. And this is not something that a lot of dentists will take into consideration or keep in mind, is that whenever somebody comes in as a new patient and they provide a great service, right? Great experience, that individual is going to automatically recommend their friends and family and others. However, when that dentist has a referral incentive program, this can help increase the number of referrals that patient brings on. And so let's look at the numbers here with that first initial patient and then the 5 other patient referrals, right? So the first patient, which is the $1,000, right? 2 yearly visits. $1,000 times 10, that's going to be $10,000 plus the patient referral value for $50,000, right? 5 other patients. This is a lifetime value of $60,000 for the first patient and then the 5 other patients that they refer. And so when you can understand this and then be able to communicate this to your prospective client, they're going to understand how, them paying you $2,000, $3,000 a month is going to be very minimal in terms of the return on investment, right? Because of the value that they're going to get for each patient. And so just for that one patient there, they have $60,000 of lifetime value. That's if they go ahead and refer 5 new patients. And yes, we're assuming that. However, what you can do is also implement a referral incentive program with your client. And we're going to walk through a service that you can use to have them implement this program where automatically after that patient gets their service done, they can leave a review and then they can also recommend other patients. So this information here is critically important for us to be able to use in our communication so that we can convey to our prospect that, hey, we understand their business, we understand marketing, we understand lifetime customer value. And when they, initially have an investment of XYZ, they're going to get a customer value of XYZ more, right? Increase. Oftentimes, you'll come across most businesses that only have an understanding of that first initial upfront sale, and they don't really understand the lifetime value of that patient, of that client, of that customer, right? And so that's why it's important for us to be able to ask this in our discovery calls and also with us doing some research prior so we can have an understanding if they know what they're talking about, right? Because it's just a matter of looking at some numbers, doing some research, right? Googling, hey, what's the lifetime average value of a patient for a dentist? What's the average lifetime value for a construction company, home remodeling company, right? And so this information is readily available to us, and it really helps us understand where that business owner is at. So now let's take a look at the return on investment. Now this is pretty simple, pretty straightforward here. This is the return on the initial investment made. Now, if you look at this image here on the right, the previous one had this in reverse, where we had let's go back over here, where we had the small investment. This is where we're understanding the value of somebody over time, right? Of a new patient, customer, job. And then with return on investment, this is where we have it in reverse, where we're showcasing, hey, you invest $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month. However, once you invest that up front, you're going to start getting your return on investment, and it's obviously going to be more than what you initially invest. However, they're going to need to invest up front a pretty decent amount in order for them to be able to get that return on investment. So let's say that a dentist hires an agency and spends $2,500 a month on Google Ads, okay? And let's say that the offer is an introductory $9.99 dental implant offer, right? Very, very high value. A dentist can easily sell these for several thousands of dollars. So 5 new patients take on that $9.99 dental implant offer. So that's $5,000 in new revenue generated with an initial investment of $2,500, right? And so when we look at the ROI, it's a very simple formula. Revenue minus campaign costs or whatever investment, right? Let's say you're charging the $2,500 a month. Let's say you spend $1,000 on ad spend and you are getting $1,500 for their management fee, right? This is a great return on investment for the client. So that's why it's important for us to understand lifetime value of a customer and then a return on investment for that client, because most businesses are only thinking in terms of this first transaction value, right? And so when they see the 5 new dental implant patients, they're just seeing that first initial return. They're not seeing the back end profits that they're going to make for that patient staying on over 10 years, right? And so you can use all of this to your advantage by being able to present a scenario where you show them that, hey, this is what a typical lifetime value looks like for a patient. This is how much you're expected to get return on investment. In our presentations, when we're going through the closing scenario, right, where we're showing them our system, our process, this is where it's important to have this type of information, where we can pull data from Google. You can use a specific doc that I have that can calculate the return on ad spend for Facebook, and you can show them, hey, not only are you going to make this return on investment, you're also going to make X, Y, and Z because of the lifetime value of that customer, right? So it's return on investment as far as what they're initially investing. And then the back end is the lifetime value, right? How long that customer stays with them, how many times they buy from them, right, during that whole time. And so when you can really understand these numbers here and where you research these niches appropriately, where you're finding out the typical return on investment depending on the type of projects, the type of jobs, the type of patients that you're looking to provide that client, and then the back end lifetime value, you can present a case that makes total sense to that business. Hey, Mr. Client, by you investing $2,500 a month, this is what you're going to get as far as a return on investment. And then you're also going to get X, Y, and Z, right, revenue from the lifetime value of that patient, of that customer, right? So very important here to understand these metrics, be able to present them to your prospective clients in your sales presentations so that your cost for your services, for your management fee, for their ad spend is minimal, just very minuscule, right? Very minimal in comparison to their return that they're going to receive, right? So that's going to be it here for this one, and we'll see you on the next one.